wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend. What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Sitcom My Face.
I'm on spring break, bro. I ain't doing shit.
Oh, nice.
I ain't even showered in like 3 days. It's great.
Sweet. or I should say sour.
You know, when I'm editing, how I always like to, I always fall down these rabbit holes and find shit from, the previous.
Mm-hmm.
So I just dropped the video for the Full House episode. That's on our YouTube if y'all want to go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Just search Sitcom My Face on YouTube. You'll find it. So, did you know about, Saget's sister had, was it scleroderma, I think it's called?
Yeah, well, yeah, he did a lot of work.
Charity for that.
Yeah, a lot of charity work for scleroderma because of that.
Just randomly, when I was watching something on Amazon Prime the other day, there was some movie called For Hope. And I had never heard of it, and I started reading the description, and it starts talking about Bob Saget. And there was a TV movie about his sister's disease that she had.
Really?
And I guess it's based on... I watched maybe the first 10 minutes. It looks kind of like a made-for-TV or like a Lifetime type movie.
Okay.
But, yeah, it seems like they're playing him in the movie almost. It was kind of strange. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, I guess go check out For Hope on Amazon Prime.
No relation to our subject this week, which is Raising Hope, but...
You mean Raising Princess Beyonce?
Yes, Raising Princess Beyonce. You're very familiar with the show.
I fucking love this show. Yeah. I'm super interested to hear what you think of this show because I was a huge fan of My Name Is Earl. I did love Yes Dear, which to a little bit lesser extent, that was more of an average show to me, but I did really like that show.
Yeah,
and this is the same guy who created all of those, Greg Garcia.
Yes. Yeah,
so this was a show that popped up on Fox, 2010?
Yeah, 2010 is when it first premiered. As you said, Greg Garcia, he's actually got some other stuff, like you said, Yes Dear, My Name is Earl, Racing Hope, The Guest Book. He also, I guess, started doing work also on Family Matters, and actually...
Yeah, he wrote 4 episodes, right, or something like that?
Yeah, and actually the show that preceded Family Matters... Oh, excuse me.
Perfect Strangers?
No, actually... Well, it is a show... Perfect Strangers did...
spin off Family Matters.
Family Matters, weird. But there was another show that it said also was kind of the stepping stone into Family Matters. And I'll be damned if I can remember what the name was. But anyway, yeah, Greg did something. And he's also been a...
Urkel's Bukkake Extravaganza.
Yeah, he also did...
Then I do...
He did some work on what is it? Consulting producer for Family Guy too.
Oh, I won't hold it against him.
Well, it's all about family. Family
Were you
Matters,
a fan
Family
of Yes
Guy.
Dear? Were you a fan of Yes Dear and My Name Is Earl?
Yes.
Are you super familiar with them, or are you just kind of?
Well, I'll say Yes Dear. I had watched more than Raising Earl. How about My Name Is Earl? But
the fans. There's I joined a few Facebook groups. I've been joining Facebook groups and kind of talking about all the different shows that we're been covering. So I joined one for this, and I was talking to a few people about it. And they all in the group, I noticed they call it the Yes Earl Hope universe or some shit.
Yes Earl Hope.
I was like, you couldn't come up with anything better than that. But
the Garcia verse,
right? Something, yeah. So yeah, it's been cool talking to a few people. I even asked them what are some of the things that we need to talk about. And they pretty much gave me some things I already had in my notes, but we'll get to those in a bit.
Okay. Well, for me, Racing Hope was a new venture because I had never watched it. I saw the commercials for it. I saw Cloris Leachman was one of the actors on it, so I was like, oh, yeah, I got to check this out sometime. But I just never got around to it.
I think she is so fucking funny on this show.
Oh yeah, yeah, as Mama.
So in the first years, they had her as a special guest star.
Yes.
But then, as I sent you a picture at one point, I was watching him. I think it might be season 2. It turns into and introducing Cloris Leachman, which is very fucking funny. But I wonder how many people watch that and don't realize that she
Oh,
had
yeah.
a 70-year career before this.
I was going to say introducing. If you hadn't already seen the Mary Tyler Moore Show, if you hadn't already seen Young Frankenstein, if you hadn't already seen, like, it's like, like how many other projects was she was on Facts of Life? She was on like, it's like between TV and film, and I believe she was big with theater as well. I believe.
I was doing some computer shit, and I'm sitting here. I was like, let me just put on some random comedy in the background. And I turned on Scary Movie 4 because it was on like Netflix, and I forgot Cloris Leachman was in that fucking movie.
Oh wow!
I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
I sort of
okay.
gave up on the Scary Movie thing after a while.
Yeah, they're
It's
not
like,
good. No, they're not good. The first 2 I like. Don't watch any after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh fuck, there's Cloris Leachman playing the old, like, mute, I guess, from like The Grudge.
Oh, okay.
Like the old lady from The Grudge. Yeah, she's in fucking everything, and always brilliant. They had some charity Zoom reunion for Raising Hope on YouTube. I watched.
Oh.
And this was after Cloris was dead, of course, but they were kind of reminiscing about her. And I was a little intrigued that they never really, like, they didn't talk super warmly about her. And they used words like frustrating and a hurdle to kind of discuss working with Cloris.
Oh, wow.
So
Well,
I don't know if she was kind of a bitch, maybe, or if she just was like, I've been in Hollywood so long that I do what I want.
Yeah, and it could be just like, you're talking about her later years, too. So, yeah, at that point, yeah, she had a career of umpteen decades at that point. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just doing this for an additional paycheck now.
Greg Garcia told a story about how she would come up and lick his neck, and he was like, it was disgusting. And I was trying to think of a way to make her stop. So he goes, I started wearing a scarf on set so that when she'd come up to lick me, she couldn't. She goes, how will I know when I can lick you again? And he goes, I'll wear a red silk scarf. And the last day of the shoot, someone reminded him, like, oh, you never gave Cloris her, like, green light the last episode. So he went to the prop department. He goes, oh, I need a red scarf. I need a red scarf. And they gave him a red scarf, and he put it on, and he went out there, and he waited, like, all day, I guess, while shooting for Cloris to notice the red scarf. And she comes up, and she looks at him, and she grabs it, and she goes, it's not silk. And she, like, walked away. They talk a lot about how talented she was, which we knew that.
Right.
And just to, like, her ability to work at that age. Like, she was gung-ho for everything, you know?
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, because even though this was in her advanced years, at the same point, like, she didn't make it seem like, oh, okay, doing the show is any, physical or mental burden on her.
The young lead there who plays Jimmy, he also described her as very handsy.
Oh, God.
Don't get Cloris Leachman canceled now, Jesus Christ.
Now, were you familiar with any of the, besides Cloris Leachman, the other actors, actresses from the show? Were you familiar with any of them?
I don't know a lot of them by name besides the people. I mean, the people I'd seen on Earl, who are a lot of the guest stars and stuff like that.
Right.
The main kid, no. The father, the only thing I had seen him in, was it Garrett? Is that his name?
Yes, Garrett Lee Dillahunt.
He's hysterical in the show, I think. And the only thing I had seen him in before this was he was like one of the rapist murderers from the remake of Last House on the Left.
Yes, yeah, he was. Now here's the weird thing. If you said the name Garrett Dillahunt to me, I would have been whatever.
But he's got one of those faces. You go, oh,
yeah, I know I've seen him in something. Dude, you have to look at his filmography between the actual films he's been in and the TV shows he's been in. I didn't realize, like, what a resume this guy's got. Let's see. Well, you saw him in Last House on the Left for film.
Don't watch those movies. They're not fun.
No.
A lot of raping. I don't like that shit.
Let's see. He was in No Country for Old Men. He was in... let's see.
Love that movie, but I don't remember him in it.
Right. He was in Looper. He was in 12 Years a Slave.
Also, those are also both great movies.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, what the hell? He's in all these things.
He was the slave, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, he was also in. He was in that Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista in them.
Oh, the new Zack Snyder.
Yeah, it was a Zack Snyder.
I did not watch that.
Yeah, I haven't watched that
good.
one either, but it's like he's been around for a while.
I don't think there's a weak person in this cast. I think these
No.
people are all very brilliantly funny.
Yeah, and again,
Even the supporting cast that comes in, I don't remember a single guest star going, well, I don't feel like they fit here.
no, of all the episodes that I watched, there was no, oh, okay, that person sticks out like a sore thumb type of thing.
I watching it, I go, I said, Garcia must have a fucking brilliant eye for character actors.
Mm-hmm.
And because Earl even as well, Earl had just the setup of that show was a different guest star pretty much every episode. The person he's going to,
Right.
to
Yeah, his list.
to make up his list,
Yeah.
or finish his list off. So same on that show. I'm like, God, they got fucking amazing guest stars. So when they asked him on that reunion I watched, he goes, I've been so fortunate. I have no idea how these people fall in my lap. He goes, but every single person who shows up fucking ready.
Wow.
It's crazy.
But Garrett also he was on let's see, A Minute with Stan Hooper for 13 episodes. Leap
Oh
Year.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Remember, I talked about that on the Norm episode. I totally forgot to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Stan Hooper. Yeah.
I think he was one of the hillbilly gay guys or something that I talked about in the pilot.
Oh, okay. I
where they
never
thought
watched
they were
that one,
brothers, but they were lovers or something.
Okay.
Well, forgive me for not recognizing from A Minute with Stan Hooper, since I told you that was the worst quality video I've ever seen on fucking YouTube.
No wonder you didn't recognize him.
1080p over here. This is probably 2p. This fucking pixel. I'm like, what the hell is that blob? Is that Norm?
Is that Norm? No, that's Pac-Man. Oh wait,
This
what the hell is
black
that?
and white blotch?
But
So
yeah,
I probably wouldn't have recognized Garrett anyway. So.
but yeah, he started out on One Life to Live in for TV. And
So-
and he was even in the recent Fear the Walking Dead for 29 episodes. So yeah, he's been all over the place.
The one who plays his wife there, Virginia, the only thing I knew her from is The Goonies.
Now, yeah, that's the weird thing. I asked my wife, where do I know her from? She did not bring up The Goonies, although then I realized afterwards, oh wait, yeah, she's the girl from The Goonies. But she was also the teenage daughter in Parenthood, the original movie, Parenthood.
Right, with Steve Martin.
Yep. Yeah, so
there's one episode, I don't know if you watched it, of Raising Hope, where Hope gets on like a kid's show.
no,
you
I
see that
didn't
one?
get to see that one.
Zappadoo or some shit, I don't know. And Virginia has a line about like, oh, I don't know if I like the idea of Hope becoming a little actress, because one day she's starring in a Steven Spielberg movie, and the next day she's the mom on some nutty sitcom.
Talk about your meta.
Right.
But yeah, Martha Plimpton, who plays Virginia in this, yeah, she is excellent, and I believe I know she was nominated, but did she win? No, she did not win any of the awards that she was up for, but she was up for multiple times Outstanding Lead Actress in a comedy series.
She was on some other show too that I'll be checking out soon on I think it's on Hulu as well, called like The O'Neills or something. The son on here, Jimmy, I don't know him from anything else, but I think he's very funny.
The Real O'Neills.
The Real
That's
O'Neills.
the one you're talking about.
You have Shannon Woodward, who she's a young actress that I've seen in a lot of stuff. I don't ever remember her exactly, but it's one of those faces you go, I've seen her a bunch. I don't know where.
Right. Yeah,
Barney
I didn't know her really from any particular thing, but yeah, she's one of those actresses that also just a lot of single episodes. Like
Barney from the grocery store. I think he used to be on Earl a lot,
Yes.
if I recall.
Yes, he definitely was one of the ones from My Name Is Earl.
Was it Frank? Frank is like coworker at work is just so fucking awkward. I don't know who that guy is, but he's fucking hysterical too.
That dude is funny.
This is the thing I like about this show is really you shouldn't like any of these characters. They're all morons and really kind of shady people,
Mm-hmm.
but that you really do kind of love them, right?
Yes, you definitely grow to love them. It's like, even though they're in the terms of Barney's thing, they're gypsies.
This is a show made up of that one character from every other show. Like every show has one character that's like this. Someone just plucked that character from all these different shows and crammed all these shitty people together.
Right.
And it works. I always think of you never watched Grounded for Life, right?
No, I hadn't.
There's the Uncle Eddie who's always kind of like up to some shady shit. Like he's got a box and they're like, "What's in the box? Don't worry about it. You, the cop?" You know, that kind of guy. And this show feels like it's made up of all Uncle Eddies.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? It's really kind of interesting. And it shouldn't work, but for me, it really does. But I have a fucked up sense of humor, so.
Oh, no, but you know what? I'll say this. I watched the first 4 episodes. Like, I'll say first episode, I was like, it's all right.
Why don't you give them a quick like 2-minute synopsis of the setup of the show?
Yeah. The setup of the show is this. Jimmy, Virginia, and Bert, they are the chances, and Mama. They are the chances. They live with Mama. She's been letting them live under her roof. And she's a little bit losing her marbles there.
She's got like severe dementia, I think beyond fucking dementia.
Yeah.
And they had Jimmy. Bert and Virginia had Jimmy at like 15, so they were never great parents either.
Right. Yeah.
But
they
made
didn't
it.
have.
It's kind of like, hey, we lucked out and our kid's alive, and now he's an adult. He still lives with us, and none of them are that bright.
Right. Now Jimmy winds up saving this girl who was running away from a guy like basically running down the street a bit.
I'll kill you!
Yeah, saying I'll kill you. He decides to let her jump in the van that he's driving, gets away. She shows her appreciation, we'll say, and 9 months later, there's a child. But in the interim, she's arrested because she's a serial killer.
She's a serial killer
who kills her boyfriends.
Specifically boyfriends.
Yes.
Which is funny. There's a little in-joke, too, where I think it was one of the ones you said you watched off the list, where her real husband is one of her ex-boyfriends, and she's married to Hyde from that 70s show.
Yeah, Danny Masterson,
yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we'll go to that one in a second, but so she's a serial killer, so she has the baby in jail. Her whole thing to Jimmy is like, oh, they won't execute
mother of a
6-month-old. Cut to her being in the electric chair, and Jimmy there with the baby watching.
So this pilot, I think this is one of the most brilliant pilots in my opinion. I think it sets everything up so well, and it's got again, this is a show for me that balances the heart with the comedy very well. It's just enough heart. It's got a little dab for you at the end, and that's just enough for me. Earl. It's got the same flavor as My Name Is Earl. Mm-hmm. Always had a little bit of that sentiment right there at the end.
Oh, definitely. And the weird thing was, in that first episode, it's not that it was bad, and it's not that it didn't set things up. But I don't know, I guess just it
had a lot to get through, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it had a lot to get through, so the chemistry wasn't all there yet.
Yeah, so you had to get through the whole premise of get pregnant, go to jail, death.
Right, you have all these things going on, you're trying to learn the characters, you can tell right away that Virginia and Bert are not great parents. Now, also, tell me if I'm wrong, did Jimmy have a brother?
He had a cousin in the first
that's
episode.
What it was. It was his cousin. Okay.
That guy, he was famous for something else. He was an actor that I think he went on, but before the pilot was picked up, I think he got another gig and went off with that.
Okay.
So they just kind of wrote him out. I forget the actor's name, but yeah, he came back for a couple guest spots.
Yeah, but basically he went off and joined a cult.
Yeah.
That's how do we get him out of the show for a while?
But at least they mentioned it. He just didn't disappear. In episode 2, they're like, he ran off to join the cult.
Yeah, but he does make a return.
Right. With the cult life or something, I think.
Yes. I didn't watch that episode, but I saw that on the list. I'm like, okay, at least they addressed, but I thought it was his brother, but yeah, okay, it was his cousin.
Hmm. Well, there was a couple characters that disappeared. That he disappeared after the first episode, and then kind of became like a guest. And then the two friends, they were only there for what, the first season. He had the big black friend and the little Hispanic friend.
Yeah,
They were kind of there, but then they just gone.
yeah.
They just kinda
It's like
disappeared.
they kind of. Well,
I think they realized the supermarket was the more fun
yes,
secondary.
and once he starts working at the supermarket, then it's just kind of like, okay, all the other ancillary, yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
we got what we need here. We got the basis.
Hmm.
But yeah, well, one person I was happy to see, and she made occasional appearances, was in the second episode, a former, if you want to say, love interest, but was actually the cousin of the person who he,
Oh,
ri-
Dead
ri-
Tooth.
yeah, with the dead tooth. What the hell's her name? She's from Garfunkel and Oates.
Hmm.
She did some
She's got her
time.
little ukulele. She's that little scrawny broad. Plays the ukulele a lot.
Kate Micucci. Kate Micucci from
I will
Garfunkel
not
and
take
Oates.
your Makuchi.
Hey. But yeah, she's been on also Drunk History a lot.
Yeah, she's
Um,
pretty funny on here.
yeah.
I feel like she disappeared after what, season 2 or something.
Yeah, after season
kinda
two,
became more of
I
a
think I think
occasional-
she popped in once, like once in the season 3 thing. But yeah,
I think the fourth season, I believe it was, opens with like a recap of the first 3 seasons. She kind of sings the recap,
Mhm.
but then I think she kind of just disappeared again. But there is a lot of side characters in this show, and there is some really good continuity for the most
Mhm.
part.
yeah. You have Dancing Dan that goes through the neighborhood. You see how he got his roller skates in the one episode.
Another thing that compares this to Grounded for Life is they tell a lot of stories through flashback.
Hmm.
And unlike a lot of shows, I feel like the young people they get to play the younger versions of them are really good and like actually match
Yeah.
them really well.
Yeah. Again, once I got past those first few episodes, that getting through that, and I hit the top 10 list of episodes, I'm like, oh my god, like I couldn't wait to watch another episode. I'm like, okay, this show is really funny. And
Yeah, it's
like you said, but with that charm and with that sentimentality, you have to get that in before the end of the episode, but not hit you over the head with it like you did in Full House.
this would be a show that could easily be really bad because since they're all stupid.
Right.
Like if you have too many Beavis and Buttheads, usually it doesn't elevate the comedy at all.
Correct.
But I think the show is so well written that it's sharp but super dumb at the same time. And there's never really a straight guy.
No, like, you know what? The closest thing at first,
Barney?
well, yeah, Barney to a degree. He was more not necessarily just
Awkward
the straight guy.
and-
Yeah, he was the awkward. But what's her name? Sabrina, actually, Jimmy's
girlfriend,
love
yeah.
interest.
And then as it goes on, you learn more about her weird.
Oh yeah, you like yeah. Wait, she goes off her meds.
She sleeps with a stocking on her head to keep the spiders out of her ears.
Yes.
Yeah, this is an impressive show to me, just based on it kind of goes against all sitcom formulas and the fact that the way the characters are all so similar. It's almost like Married with Children if they like really did love each other.
Yeah.
Like because these characters really do care about each other, and it's the only
Correct.
reason they're together.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And even in the one episode where they realize that Mama is starting to lose it, it's like, oh wait,
We have to take care of her.
we got to take care of her. It's like we got to do what she did for us. She took care of us. We got to take care of her.
There was one of the guest stars. I don't know if you saw any of her episodes. I actually met. This is the first season I have on DVD.
Okay.
I think they didn't come out with the later seasons for a long time, so I bought them digitally. So
Okay.
I own 2, 3, 4 on digital, but I think they did eventually come to physical DVD. I just haven't got them yet. But do you see who plays Bert's mom? His father is Lee Majors.
Oh no, I didn't see. I
And
didn't
his
see
mother
his parents. No.
Was the mother from a classic 70s show where they start a band and have a bus.
Oh my God, Shirley Jones?
Shirley Jones! And I met Shirley Jones.
Oh my
and
God!
The only DVD, I was like, what do I have for Shirley Jones to sign? The only fucking thing I had was Shriek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. Yeah, she's the mother from the Partridge Family, and
Yep.
she's in like I think like 2 scenes in this fucking thing, but gets like top billing with Coolio, Tiffany Amber Thiessen from Saved by the Bell,
Hmm.
and Tom Arnold.
Wow.
This was kind of Scary Movie before Scary Movie, even I think came out maybe a year before that, I believe.
Ah, okay.
It's kind of funny, but I handed this to her. We crashed a party at a fucking retirement home, Nick. Oh my god. I think
What? Okay, tell us more. Tell us more, Jay.
I did.
You don't say Shirley Jones. I handed her this like movie that not Partridge Family, not any of that. I handed her this like odd movie, which is, and then yeah, like crashing a party at an what?
She does. She's the spokeswoman for a certain retirement community, and so she tours and kind of helps recruit people. Like does shows for residents and as well as getting new people in there. So a buddy of mine who's an older gentleman, he was like, "Hey, I got an invite for this Shirley Jones thing at a retirement home. You want to go?" And he thought I'd say no, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to go, bro." So we show up, and we were the only people in there, bro, under 70 years old.
Oh my God.
And he was, he's like 50. I was at this point probably 28. So she
Wow.
just fucking loved seeing anyone there with a pulse. I'll tell you what. So we kind of chit chatted with her. She's, singing these
Mhm.
old ass songs to the crowd. We're having a fucking feast. They got like shrimp and all this lobster and shit. We're like, man, this is great. Turns out they thought we were the ice sculptors. So they're treating us like fucking royalty because they thought we
I
were
was
the
gonna
ice
say,
sculptors.
okay, things you could be mistaken for. I've never heard. They thought we were the ice sculptors.
The guy
That is
goes-
a new one, Jay.
We're leaned up against like a pillar. We're watching her, do her thing, and this guy goes, "Oh, are you guys the ice sculptors?" I'm like, "No, we're here to see Shirley." And he goes, "Ha, you guys are funny." He like walked away. Like, there's no fucking way these people are here to see Shirley Jones.
Wow.
But I hand her this DVD, and she goes, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, it's a movie you did in like the '90s." She goes, "I was in that?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right there on the cover." And she's like, "What?" She goes, "Who the hell is Coolio?" Yeah, I went into
Oh
super
my
depth.
God.
I went into super depth on that story right around when it happened on my old show. So maybe I'll leave that episode to my old show linked below.
Okay. Oh no, that's perfect.
Yeah, because it was so fucking funny.
That's
My
hysterical.
other buddy, he had a board game from the 70s of the Partridge Family. He had her sign that. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So yeah, it was fucking interesting. And they just were like, "What the fuck are you people doing in this retirement home?"
Well, that's like actually one of the guest stars on on this show, in a I believe it was a season 3 episode. I met at New York Comic Con, and a friend of mine gave me something for him to sign. That guest was Christopher Lloyd, and what did he give me to sign? Camp Nowhere.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, like, and now here I get up to like Christopher Lloyd. I'm like, okay, people have tons of Back to the Future things. You have people with like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, like all these things.
Taxi.
Yeah, Taxi. It's like, hey, here, Camp Nowhere. It's like,
That'd be
oh
even
yeah,
better.
I remember
It'd be
this
even
one.
better if he gave you to sign Bushwhacked. He's like, "That's the wrong shitty camp kid movie, sir." I'm not Daniel Stern. When I was a kid, I always confused those two fucking movies, Bushwhacked and
Oh my God.
Camp Nowhere. It's the same fucking movie.
But yeah, that was kind of like how do I want to say uncomfortable? It's like yeah, hi, Mr. Lloyd. I'm a big fan of your work. Here's one of it.
I did ask Shirley Jones about working with Cloris though.
Oh,
Because we did like a Q&A, and I was like, "Oh, what was it like working with Cloris?" And she said that Cloris was one of her dearest friends.
oh, that's awesome.
So that's cool. I think she might have been still alive at that point too. Yeah, I think she was.
Well, I hope she was still a dear friend if she were alive. Yeah.
She's like, that bitch. I'm glad she's dead. No.
Ding dong. No. But yeah, the episodes that I watched were I saw the season 1 episode. What was it called? Like don't vote for this episode.
I think that was their Emmy consideration episode.
Yeah.
So it's like a little joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't vote for this episode, and basically it was kind of the backtelling of the story of how how it came to be, like how they were living with Mama, but Mama kicked them out on Jimmy's 18th birthday. He was he's
like a goth rock kind of.
Yeah, I forget.
Sabrina had a secret little crush on him, even though she didn't know it was him because she didn't recognize him through the makeup.
Right. Yeah. She actually had just started working at the store.
It gives you like a lot of the little origins, like even the dead tooth girl. It shows when she gets hit right with the can.
Yep.
And kills her tooth. And Barney he's always told about his weight loss surgery. So when we do the flashback, he's like fat.
He sees the billboard.
Yeah, I love episodes like that. They kind of fill in little blanks.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying to remember. Second season is one of the episodes which is voted best episode of Raising Hope, and I have to agree with them. Is the one Jimmy's fake girlfriend?
Okay, I didn't revisit that one, but I seen it on the list.
Yeah, where he gets a girl from an improv troupe.
He's trying to make Sabrina jealous, right?
To make Sabrina jealous.
Wasn't that Tisdale or something?
Yes, I think Ashley Tisdale.
Ashley Tisdale?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, he doesn't want to do any of this, but his mom and dad are like basically egging him on. It's like, oh, you got to make her jealous. You got to do this, and they're the ones that come upon this because they're trying to look for a hobby to do, and they come upon this improv troupe. It's like, we found our hobby. And at the same time, they found an actress that could play Jimmy's girlfriend on a double date with Sabrina and Wyatt, her boyfriend. And meanwhile, they're at the Mexican restaurant where most of the other improv actors work. So they're all in on it, and it makes it glaringly that, Wyatt's not paying enough attention to Sabrina. So yeah, it was really funny. And then all of a sudden, he takes Sabrina out because she broke up with Wyatt, and he says that his girlfriend, she's working that night, so he takes her to the improv troupe for a show, and the show is basically the telling of the whole story of this whole thing and this whole ruse that, he did all this because he really likes her. I've never encountered a show that went to this really roundabout way of doing this. And I was like, okay, this is something special.
I don't know if you caught the one in the 4th season called like Dinner with Tropes. We talk a lot about TV sitcom tropes. This whole episode is devoted
I didn't
to
see that
movie
one.
Tropes. Like, they have like each their own little story, and it's like Bert and Virginia get on a telethon, I think it is, and they're gonna do the big dance, but Virginia's too caught up at her job and doesn't realize how important this is, and he keeps waiting for if TV's taught me anything, she's gonna walk through that door at just the right moment, and of course she doesn't. He's like, God damn it, TV lied to me, and then Hope's like little fish dies or a little goldfish, and he goes, well, you gotta do like they do on TV, and you gotta buy a new one and replace it. And they're like, what?
I believe that was Mr. Swimmy, right? I think the name.
Maybe. So like, yeah, the fish dies, and they're trying to do everything they can not to be the fucking TV tropes. It's got a lot of little good jokes, but throughout it, they're also like, every line is naming a show. Like, they're like, I can't deal with you right now. We got family matters to deal with. And he's like, man, in your house, it's kind of hard to tell who's the boss. All these little like it's so funny. And I think I think Garcia had left in the 4th season, so it is kind of surprising that the show is still so strong. A lot of times when the showrunner leaves, you go,
it's a glaring thing usually. Now the thing is, I didn't get to watch the 4th season shows. Like I was saying, I was watching from that top 10 list. I think there were 2 4th season shows on that list that I did not get to watch. but I watched all the first, second, and third season shows.
In the pilot, there's one shot, and I was fucking searching for days to find out if I was right. But there's one point, Jimmy, I think he gets left on the side of the road, and he's just kind of standing there in front of this house.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to fucking God, that's the Malcolm in the Middle house, but I could not find confirmation.
Oh, I think no, you know what? I think you're right, because when I was looking at, the synopses on for some of these shows, I think it is mentioned.
Really? Like maybe in the IMDb goofs or trivia or something? I was like, I think that's the fucking Malcolm house, and even the fence looked the same. I was like, shit. But I couldn't find if it was or not.
Yeah, this week I couldn't go with Screen Rant. They didn't have a top 10 for Raising Hope, so I went with, what was it, Episode Ninja?
There was, so we talk about the universe, like all the characters that come over from Yes Dear. Remember Jimmy and Christine, the brother-in-law and sister-in-law, I think? Something like that.
Sister and brother-in-law, yeah.
Yeah, the wives were sisters, right? Is that
yes.
what it was? And they lived in the guest
sisters.
house. They show up in an episode of this where they get a hold of Bert and Virginia's sex tape and are using their sex tape to like learn about a better marriage.
Oh, God.
It was weird, though, because there's that episode where you're like, oh, shit, it's Jimmy and Christine. And then he comes back later, but the wife is different. And they don't call her Christine anymore. They call her Christy, but it's a different actress. And I was like,
oh.
I was like, damn. And then you have a lot of the Earl characters playing different characters, which is interesting. Although Patty the Daytime Hooker is Patty the Daytime Hooker in this show. And I believe they say these characters live in Natesville. The Earl characters live in Camden County, which I guess they're neighboring counties on this show.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, yeah.
The one episode where they go to the retirement home.
Yes.
And it's the Earl J. Hickey Memorial Retirement Home. So you're like, oh,
yes.
God, Earl's dead? No! But he's on this show, Jason Lee, playing, what was the rocker's name? Smokey.
Smokey, yeah.
But, yeah, so fucking funny. But yes, if you are an Earl fan, definitely watch the episode Making the Band.
Yeah, see, I
so many great references. Not only because he's a rocker, there's also references to Almost Famous.
Oh, wow.
Because he was in that, and a lot of all references.
Oh, my God. Yeah, see, yeah, I watched the one with Mama being put into the Earl J. Hickey Memorial Home.
Which was a great episode. I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, that was an hysterical episode.
What you're a theme song guy. I want to know what you think of this little theme ditty here.
Yeah, here's the weird thing. You really only get the full theme in the first season. Mm-hmm. After that, second season on, you're just getting just like a very quick snippet of the thing. It's like, I think this fell into, and then that's it. It's like, what?
I think this fell into one of those years where networks added more ad time. So I think they lost like a minute of show time.
Got it.
And they were like, oh, well, let's nix that fucking theme song down a little bit. But it's really just like a little ditty where it's like, here we go. Oh, 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 oh. He's like, I like where the full one, though. He's like, birth control. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I love the, like, at the beginning, it's like it's a book or whatever, and then when you
like a little kid's book illustrated.
Yeah, the little kid's illustrated book, and then when you see Hope, she's got the H block in her hand, and the ELP's already spelled out. Yeah, I thought it was.
Earl didn't really have a theme song either. He just kind of told his story real quick.
Yeah, I want to say.
My name is Earl. Yeah. Done.
But this one was kind of like, it was there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was just there, especially for second season on. So like, it wasn't although as I was watching more episodes, I found it as short as it was. I just felt myself like after a while just oh, wait a second, I'm doing that minuscule little theme song.
Mm-hmm.
While I didn't find myself doing that with Full House.
We talk about in the pilot how Hope's mother is put to death, but the thing I love about this is that she is never fucking dead. She's like a fucking movie serial killer. She's your Michael Myers or your Jason Voorhees, because Hope's mom comes back more than most of them.
Yeah, like again.
What did you think of those?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't get any of those episodes.
Oh my God.
I know, and you were telling me, and I'm like, okay, where is the? So I'm watching. Apparently, it wasn't in top 10 ones. So I'm like, damn it! And it's like, I know Jay told me about this.
I sent you I think the two other ones I found. So in season 2, was it end of season 2, I believe, she comes back. They do an episode where they do an inside probe, and it's like Nancy Grace hosting this thing, telling the story about the killings or whatever.
Right.
And it ends with, and we have an interview with Lucy, and it cuts to her alive, and they're like, oh shit!
Oh my
And
god.
then the next episode, she comes back and is fighting for custody of Hope.
Oh geez.
So you have like a whole courtroom episode, and she wins, and she gets Hope.
Oh no.
So the episode ends, and she's like, basically Sabrina is with Jimmy at this point.
Yeah.
And Lucy, the Hope's mother, is like, well, if you ever want to see your kid again, you're going to come with me, and we're going to, I think they're going to be Buddhists in the mountains. And so she's like, are you coming with, or are you losing your kid? And he's like, oh, I guess I'm going with you. And, they're driving off, and he sees like Sabrina on the side of the road, and he's all sad, waving. And, so she's like, you really love her, don't you? And it's this little like heartfelt moment. And she goes, all right, I'm going to do what's right for everybody. And she just pulls out a giant fucking knife and starts chasing Sabrina down the street.
Oh,
She's going to fucking murder Sabrina because she's going to ruin their family, It's so fucking funny.
Okay, and going back to that episode, which shows, like, if you want to say the origin episode, where you were saying like Barney was like heavy set, and Sabrina just started working at the store. The best was her cousin, the one with the dead tooth. She sees Lucy and her boyfriend,
who's her real husband, as we said.
Danny Masterson. They're arguing at the store, and like, I don't know, he said something like derogatory to her, and at the one point
she goes, "I can't believe you take that shit," or something.
Like that. I would get rid of him.
Yeah, she goes,
I would get rid of him.
Yeah.
And of course, and like, of which Lucy like is like, oh yeah, like,
so
that.
The implication is that's the origin. That's like her first victim.
Yes.
I think I'll kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, because then you see her where she comes back to the store and buys gallons upon gallons of bleach.
right. Yeah, so at as she's chasing Sabrina down the fucking street, this fucking bus wails her, runs her over, and they're like, oh, she's dead again. So then it ends with them getting fucking Hope back because now the mother's dead. But then in the later season, I think it's in in season 3, The Modern Wedding, which is the other one I sent you, which is Jimmy and Sabrina's wedding. This is a fun episode. We talked about the show Modern Family.
Yeah.
This whole episode is shot like an episode of Modern Family.
Yeah, you had put that one in the text.
So, but they find out he needs to get the death certificate to get the divorce finalized or whatever from her from the prior episode. And they find out, oh, just kidding, she's still alive, but the bus didn't kill her. She has like amnesia though, or she's reverted to being a child, so she thinks she's like 5 years old, and her parents are just hiding her out at the house with like a shock collar on.
Oh my god.
But now she's seen the wedding stuff on the news, and she's come back, and she's gonna go fucking stop the wedding and murder everyone. Oh, it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. One of the episodes I watched was when they went out to Vegas to Virginia's her cousin, like her wedding, who's played by Amy Sedaris.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, and
she's in a couple of them.
Yeah, again, great episode. Turns out also because Bert and Virginia, like, they never got to have like the wedding that they wanted. They showed a flashback to their wedding. It's like she had a little napkin rubber banded to her face, which was the veil.
The final episode is their dream wedding.
Oh wow!
Bert and Virginia get their episode. The final episode is their wedding. The 4th season, I believe, opens with what's the father who's in prison from Arrested Development?
Oh,
fuck, I can't think of his name right now.
Bateman?
No, his father.
Oh crap! That's He was also on what was it,
That
Transparent?
Transparent, yeah,
and
that guy.
and he was on The Ropers.
He
Jeffrey Tambor.
plays, yes, Jeffrey Tambor.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he plays Virginia's like a long lost father, who's gay. He left town because he was gay, and they kind of shunned him back then. So in the beginning of the fourth season, he shows up, and then he's cast out again. The end of that season, he comes back and is getting married, and they're planning this big gay wedding. But at the end, they find out, he goes, "It's not for me, it's for you, so I can give my baby girl her big dream wedding finally."
Ah.
Yeah, and they have it's a pretty good finale. I don't know if they knew they were canceled or not, but it does seem like a good fitting end. It's a big wedding
I
thing.
hate when a show doesn't get a chance to really tie things up.
Well, in the first episode, when they're putting Hope to sleep, she sings the who's that fucking?
Oh, it's
Kenny Loggins.
Yes, Kenny Loggins, Daniel's song.
Yes, she sings that song to Hope, putting her to sleep. And the final episode, he brings Kenny Loggins to sing at her wedding, and they sing that song.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like, it is a really good wrap up. You know what I mean? Like ties right back to that first episode. The other running gag I love on the show is knocking people out with TVs, which starts right there at the beginning. There's a lot of fucking episodes where someone starts talking some shit or whatever. In the first episode, when they find out Lucy is the serial killer,
she
just picks the fucking TV up and
knocks her over the head with it.
They do that in a lot of fucking episodes. It's like, it's always the same shot too, where the person who's about to get knocked out is right there in front of the camera, and behind them you just see one swing, pop,
boom,
and they're out. A lot of TVs, a lot of guitars, whacking people out. Very funny.
Another great one was I watched with Mother's Day, where where Mama, because she didn't have any memory of her mother, but they find at her old house that she grew up, her mother is still there.
Yeah, Cloris
also
Leachman
played
as
by
Mama.
Cloris Leachman.
Cloris Leachman as Mama is not Virginia's mother. It's her great grandmother, I think.
Yeah.
So, because there is an episode where we meet Virginia's mom, who's just like a swinger, who doesn't want to. Don't call me grandma. I'm nobody's grandma.
Right.
She's like a fucking swinging. But yeah, so then they go to find Mama's mom, and she's still alive and just fucking Gollum looking.
Yeah.
Decrepit as shit. Like
which they point out actually at a couple of times. It's like,
did they say that in the episode? Yeah.
Yeah, like I forget something about Lord. It's like, what in the Lord of the Rings is that?
Oh yeah, that's right. So fucking funny.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna say I got a little list here of just a few episodes I would highly recommend. Season 1, I would say the pilot and Don't Vote for This Episode are both great in my opinion.
Yes.
Season 2, Miss Smarty Pants, which I think you watch, where they go to school again.
No, I didn't.
That was not on that list. It was on the list I saw, but Inside Probe and then the I Want My Baby Back are the two with the mother comes back to take Hope.
Yeah, and I'd also put the Jimmy's Fake Girlfriend in the list for that one.
Season 3, Throw Mama from the House, parts 1 and 2,
Yes.
where she goes to the retirement home, is very funny. Making the Band is the My Name Is Earl, which also was funny because they brought even other side characters from Earl in. Like the African guy plays a pilot in this. And then Tim Stack always played himself on Earl, and he plays himself on this episode. He's in rehab with Jason Lee, which is funny. The Modern Wedding, and then for the 4th season, I would say Bert's Bucks, which is a very funny, like, let's make our own currency. And it's really just an allegory for the way the exact fucking government works with money. It's so funny. Dinner with Tropes, the one I mentioned there. And then Ship Happens, where they are basically taking a boat. They're delivering a boat for somebody, and everything goes wrong. I do love the title, though, because in one of the first early episodes, Bert's talking about how he wants to get a boat, and he decides the name would be Ship Happens.
Yes, I think that was. I think that was the one. Don't vote for this episode. I think it was on that one.
And then in the 4th season, there's an episode where as a family vacation, they're delivering a boat, and the episode's called Ship Happens, which I like.
Yeah, I would add into that also. What is it? Credit where credit is due. I think from season 3. That's the one with Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
And of course. Ginny and Bert, they wound up getting their dream car which is a DeLorean, an 84 DeLorean.
Oh yeah, doesn't it end with him going in time with it or something?
Yeah, and the whole premise of the episode is that they need to get a new car. Like both Jimmy and Sabrina, they need to get a new car because the two that they have don't really work for having a baby. So
They made a baby in the van, so
well, there you go. It was the same van too. But what happens is they were gonna go get a new car, and the Jimmy finds out he has like no credit. His credit is a 91. Which is like, yeah, that's great. It's like, no, that's
No.
out of like 840.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
they make that same joke on the SAT one or whatever.
yeah. It's and I love Phil Lamar is actually the car salesman going over that with him.
That's what I'm saying. Every guest star on the show is so good. There's always somebody like, I know you.
Yes, and Phil Lamar, for those that don't know, like he's done a lot of voice work, but like for acting, he was on Mad TV, and he was also Marvin from Pulp Fiction. And it's like, oh my God, I shot Marvin in the face. But basically, Christopher Lloyd with the press of one button could clear up everything for Jimmy. If they give him the DeLorean, it's the car that he's always wanted.
Yeah.
And of course, at the end, he's got to try it out, and he takes it over 88 miles an hour, and he winds up in front of the grocery store where they're doing Founders Day. And it's like,
right?
Is this 2014? It's like, no, we're in 18. It's like,
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that snippet. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is perfect.
I legit probably watched 40, 50 episodes of this in the last 2 weeks. I probably covered over half of it again.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the show.
Yeah, and like I said, it took me a couple of episodes, but once I got in, it's like I was hooked. I'm like, okay, this is really for a show about people that are dumb. This is a really intelligent show. And I will say this: the beginning was mostly about hope. Again, raising hope. Later episodes, you get more of the focus on the other people in the family and some of the ancillary characters.
Isn't it weird how
so
little Hope actually does in this show, though?
Yes.
It is she's really not the focal point of most of this show.
I hate to say it, but like after a while, she becomes a prop.
And right back to our Full House episode, she's twins. That's twins.
Yes. Yeah,
there was a
Princess
different
Beyonce
baby in the pilot. There's in the early episodes, the baby changes a few times. Did you notice that?
Wait, in the early episode? No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think the pilot has a completely different baby, if I remember right. There's like a darker haired baby, and then the one that we know that became Hope for most of it. But yeah, in the first couple, especially, the baby changes back and forth a few times. They said on the reunion, they were talking to the two girls, and they were like, "You guys were perfect because one of you was always grumpy and crying, and the other one was always happy and giggles. So whichever mood we needed, we just grabbed one or the other." Yeah, I mean, so I highly recommend this show. I think this is a brilliant show. I loved this. I was watching the premiere of this the first day, and I was like, I fucking love this show. But I was also a big Earl fan, who at this point was super pissed they had canceled My Name Is Earl. Yeah. Ended on a cliffhanger. That also only got 4 seasons. And very interesting, the guy who greenlit Earl and bought the show for NBC, in the time Earl was on, was fired from NBC, got a job at Fox, and is also the man that picked up Raising Hope from...
There we go.
So Garcia said that when they ended Earl abruptly, he was like, what the fuck? He was pissed at NBC. He goes, hey, my buddy's over at Fox. Watch this shit. So he goes over there. He goes, you're pissed too? I'm pissed. Let's fucking do this. And they did another show at Fox.
That's awesome.
But it is weird, though, because Yes Dear was at CBS.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so he pretty much
had 3 fucking different networks, and yet they all take place in the same universe.
And remember, like he also worked for Family Matters.
Which was ABC.
So he did ABC as well.
He probably had a lot less pull on that, though. Only writing 4 episodes.
Yeah.
He wasn't the creator. So
he wasn't the creator / executive producer.
So, yes,
but,
very,
But
very funny that he's like, I'm following you, bro. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, I am so glad though that you actually recommended the show.
Are you gonna watch
because
more?
I just never got around to watching it.
You think you'll go back and visit it again?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely now fill in some of the gaps and also watch some of the other episodes.
Did your wife watch with you?
What's that?
Did your wife watch with you?
She not the very beginning she didn't watch, but then after like a few of the episodes she started watching, and at first she's like, huh? And then it's like, oh wait, okay, it was kind of
She
like the same
enjoyed it?
reaction that it's like, okay, and then all of a sudden she got it and it's like, okay, this is funny.
Good. Yeah, 88 episodes. I think I've watched probably through it twice, and then I've watched half of it again now. So I might just finish it again. I might
Damn
just
it, go
finish
watch
it
the
again.
other half.
Yeah, I'm gonna go finish it for the third time probably. So
Sweet.
and it actually really makes me want to watch My Name Is Earl again too. So I'm sure we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, no, we'll get around to My Name Is Earl soon. I would think, but we do know what's on tap for next time, do we not?
Yes, head of the class. We talked about Hessman dying. We couldn't do WKRP. So yeah, we're gonna watch for head of the class. And I don't remember a goddamn thing about this show, but it has that guy from one of the bigger guy on there is a big show creator from Nickelodeon, and he's that one that's got a lot of controversy, a lot of accusations over the years.
Oh.
From a lot of child stars, and he's like the foot fetish guy and this kind of thing.
Ooh.
Dan Schneider, I think was his name.
I think
From Schneider's Bakery. He made a bunch of like the Amanda Show and all that, and I think a lot of those.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of accusations, and I think ended up getting fired or quitting Nickelodeon. So this is an acting part for him. I think he was also in the Good Burger sketches. I think he might have been.
Oh, okay, with Keenan, not Key and Peele, Keenan and Kel. Yeah.
I think he's the bigger like manager guy from Good Burger.
Okay.
If I remember, because I think he also created Keenan and Kel. So this will be interesting to check out, and I don't really remember anything. Do you recall a lot of the show, or
Not a lot. I think my wife actually watched this one more than I did back in the day.
So this will be interesting. I finally got around to had my own little Ivan Reitman memorial, and I watched the new Ghostbusters finally, the one his son did.
How was it? I still haven't gotten around to watching that one.
I gotta say, the last act won me over. I was not super into it for a lot of the movie. Paul Rudd is the shining star of this movie.
Okay.
As he is for most movies he's in.
Yeah.
It's real slow, and I'm not a big fan of the passing of the torch, next generation, young kid.
Okay.
I don't want to see child Ghostbusters. That's not interesting to me. I want to see people that I think are funny, great comedians in that part. I kind of wish they just did a new Ghostbusters with like Paul Rudd as,
I got you. Well, they did try to do a new Ghostbusters, but that didn't go over well.
Yeah, not those people. But no, the third act of this makes it worth it, and it really is. It really is a good tribute to Harold Ramis, actually. Considering he was dead and not involved in any way.
Yeah.
This movie really is a love letter to him, and I would say it's worth that alone. Because there's a couple moments there where you get a little tug on the heart. You're like, oh, God damn it. And it ends with a for Harold, little. So I would say I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is very high for me, actually. I'm a very hard critic. But all of that comes down to that third act where you go, okay.
Okay. So you got to make it through the first two to get to that.
Yeah, the kids bore me, but Paul Rudd and even the kid's mother are really good. I don't know who that actress is, but she's really good. And it's not spoilers because it's known, but some of the people that were in the originals come back. And
right. Yeah.
You
may have seen them on teaser trailers.
As not thrilling as a lot of the movie is, it does give you a vision of where they may be going, and that excites me. So
sweet.
Well, we got anything else, buddy? Are we ready to?
No, I think we're ready to wrap this up. If you all are enjoying this out there, please subscribe our podcast. Please on Twitch, check it out if you're already checking it out now, and check out JJ's channel at twitch.tv/BidwellFog. If you want to catch us on Twitter, it's at Sitcom My Face. Facebook, hey, we're Sitcom My Face. Hey, I see a theme running here. And if you want to just email us, sitcommyface@gmail.com. Anything else you want to push there, JJ? Or
I don't think so. Oh, well, I told you I found this at the dollar store. Let us know if you want to see. This is a DVD
that looks
of
interesting.
TV Guide Spotlight, TV's greatest very special episodes, and it's got a bunch of like on a very special episode of this. It's got everything from Good Times, Jefferson's, Party of Five, Cosby Show. If you want to see an episode maybe about some of the greatest very special episodes, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. And if you're thinking that one Different Strokes, great, very special episode is
Don't
on there.
ruin it. It's not the one you think.
It's not the one you're thinking.
Don't tell them what it is. I would be surprised. But
no. It's like
it's
not the one you're thinking. It's another one.
With that, remember, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
Don't broke it. Well, for Sitcom My Face, I've been Nick Franco.
I've been Jay Bidwell.
And we hope you'll
Sitcom my motherfucking face.
Oh, face. Good night.